All right, well, joining me now, a terrific panel, Sky News host Paul Murray and Chris Kenny. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
Look, I don't want to go back into the whole nuts and bolts of the financial models and why Daniel Andrews got it wrong, but clearly you don't commit to hosting a Commonwealth Games if you can't fulfil that commitment, because now the Games are completely in jeopardy, and you have athletes like track star Ellie Beer, who was just on my show a moment ago, didn't know the news was genuine. She saw it on Instagram a couple of hours ago, still thought it was fake until she got a call to come on my program tonight. But Paul, the point is, people might say fair enough, money should be spent for school and education, but don't bid then.
I think it's a lovely service that you offer to the Australian people, that until you get a call from Sherry or Sherry's team, that's how you'll decide misinformation.
I didn't know I was Liz Storer today until I got a call to come on this show.
Of course they shouldn't have bid for it. Of course it was obvious that after locking people down in regional Victoria, this was a way of having something to announce, or local Labor MPs something to announce. But there is another part of this, which is these events are too big. They are too big and they are too expensive. Now, I'm going to rip in, and don't worry, I'll say everything else like everyone else about Daniel Andrews and the fact that they shouldn't have gone into it. The Olympics should be held in one place every 4 years, and they can rebuild a pool every 10 years. The idea that the Commonwealth Games, which, let's be honest, was being awarded to regional Victoria, not a capital city, and I love regional Victoria, but not a major city like the other previous places that had shown, it's too expensive to host these things. Now, when you get it right, like Australia does right now with the Women's World Cup, there'll be a big financial response. There'll be a big financial response to the GC Commonwealth Games. But the games themselves, Chris, are too expensive.
Well, come on. The thing here is suddenly Daniel Andrews cares about money. This is a bloke who paid $1 billion not to build a tunnel. This is a bloke who's got his state heading towards $172 billion worth of debt. He's wasted money hand over fist. Now suddenly he's getting all parsimonious over the Games. I think it was just an election con. I think it was a con to the regions of Victoria to get them through the election last year. Now he doesn't want to do it. But I do agree with Paul's point that these things are too big. Now's the perfect opportunity. I'm dismayed that all the other states have ruled out hosting this, because it would be a perfect time for a Perth or Adelaide to say, we'll put it on, but we're not going to spend big on new facilities. We'll do it with the gear we've got now. We'll do it low key. It'll be friendly and it'll be very successful, and we'll do it on the cheap. So I hope they do change their minds.
You know what I'd love to see, Paul Murray, is, Damon Johnson or one of the journos at The Australian put in an FOI to see if Daniel Andrews focus grouped this decision before he announced it, because he's focus grouped the lockdowns, the masks, everything else.
Yes. But look, and again, what is the message that is sent here? Now, look, I said it long, loud and hard. If you lived in regional Victoria, you have to send a message that the behaviour during lockdown couldn't be tolerated. Regional Victoria was locked down because they couldn't be bothered at times reproducing Ring of Steel. Now, that, of course, created a scenario where you couldn't cross the border from New South Wales into Victoria. You couldn't leave Melbourne, which meant regional Victoria was playing with itself. Now, God love regional Victoria, but there's not a lot of people that are going to go from Wodonga to Shepparton for the weekend. You end up hanging out where you are, those small business people. And again, for all of the contracts that disappear about velodromes and swimming pools, what about the poor bugger who is running a hotel, who had 2 years of no one turning up at it, an opportunity to have it full as a boot for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. But again, this is how it works for Andrews. You either work for the state, you're dependent on the state, and if you are standing on your own 2 feet, you are surplus to requirement.
And no apology, no contrition, no remorse at all in his press conference.